Safety first. These are not real weapons. There are no real projectiles in these weapons. They do not fire. They do not operate. They are not real weapons. Having said that, I still want you to practice muzzle discipline. What is muzzle discipline? Don't point the fucking weapon at anybody until I tell you to. That's muzzle discipline. Second thing is, don't point the weapon at anybody you don't want shot. Always treat even training pistols as though they're what? Real and live. Always, always, always. Right? So even if I'm tap, rack, and nothing's happening, I'm going through the motions of doing so, it's because that's part of it. You see how I have my finger down the slide? It's my finger down the slide. You're gonna keep your finger out of the trigger until I tell you to. That's in the trigger guard, right? For the most part, when we're training, we're gonna wrap the gun like this. And the reason why is we're gonna keep your finger safe. Does that make sense? I don't want you leaving here with less fingers than you showed up with today. Now, that's the safety portion. Gun defense. I love Krav Maga's gun defenses. There are other systems that have gun defenses too, but I think Krav Maga is the best at it. But I hate doing them and putting them online. Because fucking morons always run their mouth about what will happen to your hand if you're holding a gun and it's fired. And I've seen so-called tactical experts say this shit. If you're holding Edson, come here for a second. Edson's gunman. You can go ahead and put finger trigger, it's okay. So if I'm grabbing the gun or redirecting the gun, right? Edson goes bang right now. What happens to my hand?
It's gonna move forward.
What happens to my hand?
It's gonna slide forward. It ain't gonna do anything.
Nothing. Nothing happens to my hand. And I know there's people watching going, bullshit. Okay, then look at our video of me standing on range and Jamal firing a hot weapon and I'm holding a weapon like this. Nothing happens to my hand, but what happens to the pistol?
Out of battery.
It's out of battery. It means it's no longer working. That first round's gonna come out if it's loaded. If there's one in the pipe right now, that first one's gonna come out. But the cycle of operation has now been interrupted. You guys understand how semi-automatic works? And anyone not familiar with it? That's okay if you're not familiar with it, it's okay. So this is a semi-automatic handgun. It's a model of a Glock. The way semi-automatics work is the faster I pull the trigger, the faster the rounds come out. So the round comes out, there's a slide port or an ejection port right here. The empty shell that had the bullet will come out, the next one seeds, and it goes, and it fires again as quickly as we're doing that. This is a cycle of operation. When I hold the weapon during a gun disarm, bang may happen, but now that cycle of operation now is stopped, so now we forced a jam. Probably the shell from the first round and the next one trying to seed are stuck. And you create a jam. So you have to drop the mag and clear it, tap rack, and get that thing back in operation. What that does from a defensive standpoint is it buys us time. Also, there are some weapons where if I push the slide back, it also puts it out of battery. Many of the gun manufacturers now are doing that. Why?
Safety.
Safety for what though? When people try to self-terminate and they push the weapon into themselves and it doesn't fire and they can't figure out why it can't fire because they've pushed the slide down.
Go get your revolver.
Okay? Revolvers don't do that, right? Revolvers don't do that with a revolver. You'll be bad news. By the way, on a revolver, what happens to my hand? Nothing. It stops the cylinder from turning, so you're fine. And even if the first round comes out, you're fine. By the way, I always like this. People are like, well, you can burn your hand. Shot body, burned hand. Which one you want? So, right? So that's the idea. So we have an acronym, RCAT, RCAT. Redirect, control, attack, takeaway. Redirect the line of fire, control the weapon, attack the gunman, takeaway, disarm him. Sometimes attack and takeaway switch places, depending on where the gun is. But redirect and control never change places. We can argue about any technique you want, but we cannot argue about the principles. I can mess up a technique and survive. If I fuck up a principle, I'm dead. Make sense? Okay, so Edson's got gun to me, and we're gonna make a two-hand, what we call two-hand cupping defense. So what's our first redirect? Our redirect here. There's my groin kick. And I have the weapon, and I'm gonna tap rack. If I'm carrying my own weapon, I'm gonna transition to my own weapon at that point. I don't like firing other people's weapons. I pull weapons off of people who had like the wrong rounds and shit in them. I'm not kidding. No, like it's crazy. I had a guy like with duct tape. It was a revolver. He duct taped the rounds in there because he's like, well, the bullets wouldn't fit. They were too small. So I'm like, what the fuck? You have the wrong caliber, you idiot. I wonder what would happen if he actually tried to fire that thing. All right. So look, we're going 2-hand pluck. My first is redirect. If you look at the silhouette, turn this way, Edson. Turn. If you look, guys, I'm not making a big circular motion like this. This is wrong. It's too much. It's going to activate his flinch response. In fact, we're going to test this theory right now. Edson, as soon as you see me move, pull the gun back, okay? I got it that time. I was lucky. Good. Do it again. Now, this is me with my arm going up. You see how he's pulling the arm back? Now, keeping my arm to my silhouette, to my side, he's not going to see that at all. And I have the weapon now. Look, come in real close, you guys, so you guys can see. When I get to this position here, with my wrists crossed and elbows tucked to my body like this, Edson turned the gun on me. Edson's strong. He's not dicking around. He's trying. And I'm calmly standing here, relaxing. Why? Because I'm using strength or leverage? Leverage. The leverage of my shoulders, the leverage of my elbows, the leverage of my core, the leverage of my wrists being crossed. Now look, I'm going to fuck this leverage up by doing something simple. Edson turned their weapon on me. What did I do wrong? Look at my elbows now. Turn the weapon to me. Very easy. Turn the weapon to me. You guys see it? He can't. He cannot. Elbows locked, wrist crossed, safe. Elbows away, shot. If it didn't go off. Does that make sense, you guys? Now, look, all we're gonna work in our groups is just this part. 1, 2. 1. 1. You see I'm kind of blading my body? I don't do this and muzzle myself. See this? I muzzle myself here. Shot. Offline. Edson, you feel my weight? Yeah. You see how he's moving? I'm actually thinking about punching Edson in the chest when I make this motion here. Yeah? See how my heels also will come off the ground a little bit. That's going to stop me from what? False stepping. The only way out of this is where? That way. So now, here, when I make this hand, the secondary hand, it's underneath, guys. It's not on the line of fire. I'm not putting my hand in front or my arm in front of the muzzle. I'm going underneath the weapon. I'm anticipating Edson doing what? Pulling back the gun. So I'm going to meet him back there. Here, and meet him back to step to kick. We do not step to grab, we step to kick. We're not going to worry about the kick right now. What I'm saying to you is, I do not step here. He sees all of this. What I step is here. Now I step. You see how the weapon's here? Wrists are crossed, elbows are tight. Now I've got a nice clean kick to him. Remember earlier when I made the comment about stepping off line in a 45 and sending your kick down the middle? That's why we did it. Okay? So that's all we're going to do. Go get with your partners. Guns are over there. Remember what I said about holding the gun like this? Point at your partner. Your partner's just going to go 1 and 2.